1942 was not a good year for the Jews. The planet vibrated with unprecedented war, and the Nazis began implementing their final solution to the Jewish problem, opening extermination camps across Europe. It was the turn of Bernard Lewis, a Jewish corporal serving in the intelligence corps of the British Army, to perform guard duty. His partner on duty that night was a non-Jewish gentleman named George. Bernard was born in 1916 in London, England. While preparing for his bar mitzvah, he became fascinated by history and languages. He pursued these interests with determination, with remarkable results. Now in his 99th year, Bernard Lewis is a celebrated academic, a prolific author, the bearer of 13 honorary doctorates, and a world-leading expert on Islam in the Middle East, whose opinions have advised foreign policy. But while standing guard in His Majesty's service that fateful night, with the steady backdrop of exploding shells and the unnerving rumble of falling bombs, his conversation with George was of a lighter nature. That is, until George suddenly threw him a personal question. "Am I right in thinking that you are Jewish?" Bernard answered proudly in the affirmative, but their chat was not over. "I have the impression that you are not a devout and observant Jew." "You are right," Bernard conceded. "Then I don't understand. Why do you bother?" Bernard was confused. "You must agree that being Jewish is often difficult and sometimes dangerous. I can see that you may be ready to face persecution or death for your religious beliefs, but if you don't hold or live by those beliefs, then why bother?" An uneasy silence was disrupted by sporadic bombing. As the night grew darker and more dangerous, a profound, soul-shaking truth began to dawn in Bernard's mind. How easy it would be to avoid persecution or even inconvenience by not identifying as a Jew. He explained to George and to himself that there have always been some who indeed did not bother, finding the retention of Jewish identity to be dangerous, difficult, or merely burdensome. But for most, even for those whose religious faith is at best tenuous, and whose Jewish identity is overshadowed by other larger identities, denying that Jewish identity would be an act of falsehood, if not to others, then to oneself. Often, the brightest revelations emerge in moments of darkness. George questioned whether his colleague was Jewish because it was not at all obvious. Bernard did not wear his religion on his uniform sleeve, but as the temperature dropped and the rumble of war grew into a roar, Bernard realized that more dependably than a corporal's commitment to protecting his post, Jews across Europe and throughout millennia preserve their identity simply because when a lifetime of deeds and thoughts are stripped aside, all that is left is one's core that neither metal nor fire can extinguish.